I want to start doing some formulas now so you guys can understand our color a little bit. And then we're going to do hair. You guys want to do some hair?
Yes.
It can be the best education in the world, but if it doesn't, if we can't see it, feel it, touch it, because we're artists, it's no fun then. For me, I want to see it work. So I want you guys to see it work, and I want you to feel it, and I want you to be able to see how our color works. So let's do a few formulas first. Let's say we have a client that comes in, and they're a natural level 5, okay? And they want to go just a little bit darker. They like our 4 red, double red. So if I'm going to go darker, right, we have our remaining pigment contribution. We have if they have any gray, they don't. And which developer I'm going to use. So if I'm a level 5 and I'm going to make them a level 4 with our color line, which developer am I going to use? 5 volume. And it's going to process for how long? 15 minutes. They don't have any gray, so I don't need to worry about that. And I'm going darker, so I'm not going to remove any underlying pigment or remaining pigment. So that doesn't matter either. Only if I'm lightening their hair. So I can actually use the color they want for our R. It's that easy. The color they want in 5 volume, and you're done. Preschool hair color. I'm not going to do another one. I think we understand it, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine, because in your salon, where you're going to find where you build the most clients is through word of mouth and through your work. Far more than any marketing ad you can do or campaign or anything you can do is always going to be your client that's going to bring you the next business. And there's, I don't know how many times in my life I've been doing a client. Maybe I'm doing this one. And I'm just about to get her done and my next client's waiting. And then she goes to pay at the register, and my next client comes over and she goes, "Oh my God, that was so pretty. Do you think it would look good on me?" You're going to hear that a lot in salons, trust me, especially if they see your work and it's good. And you might get a client that says, "You know, that looks so pretty. I love that red. Do you think it would look good on me, Max? I don't know. I've never colored my hair in my life. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I'm kind of afraid. My husband might kill me. Oh my God, what do you think?" "Honey, I think you should get a new husband because it's your hair. And I think you should go bright red, right?" But think about it. This is where consultation is so important. Because she said 3 things to me that are important. I have never colored my hair in my life. I don't know if I'm going to like it. And there's a possibility I might get beat when I go home. So am I going to put permanent hair color on her?
No.
Not if I want a client. And this is where our color line is really unique. If it really is virgin hair and she's never colored it before, as long as she's not using a ton of thermal tools or flat irons or something and opening the cuticle, and it's really virgin hair, I could actually give her a semi-permanent that's going to work like a colored shampoo or a colored foam, and I could let it process, and it'll only last on her hair a week. How awesome to be able to say to the client, "Well, if you like that red, do you want to just try it on for a week?" Wow, the option to try it on to someone who's never colored their hair before. That's awesome, because then she comes back and says, "Oh my God, he actually loved it. I think I like it. Can you make it last longer?" Then I'm going to make it demi-permanent, last about 4 to 6 weeks. And if she comes back and says, "Oh my God, I love it, I love it. I should have been a redhead my whole life." Then I'm going to grab my 5 volume and give it to her. And make a permanent hair color. Does that make sense? So now you have a way to let people try on hair colors in the salon. And I think that's amazing as long as their hair is virgin hair. So we have a unique developer that I'm going to talk about here called 2Transform, 2T. 2T is what transforms every single tube of permanent color into either semi or demi-permanent color. How cool is that? Out there, because we're not the only one that's semi-demi-permanent out of the tube. Usually what they teach you, and what my last color line that I was involved with, we told everybody it dissipated the ammonia when you mixed it up with here. And when the ammonia's gone, once the ammonia's gone, it can't lighten the hair. Well, that's not true. So I'm going to teach you the truth about what these developers do. What they do is they lower the pH balance. See, permanent hair color is alkaline in your pH scale. Okay? Your demi-permanents and your semi-permanents are acidic. And that's why they can't lift the cuticle. Colorants with Goldwell is acidic. In fact, if you pick up a can or a tube, it'll say acid hair color on it. Color Touch from Wella is acidic. Viviance from Schwarzkopf is acidic. Richesse from L'Oreal is acidic. All of these brands are acidic, and that's why they make two. One that's alkaline and one that's acidic. Right? You get it? Made a developer that they could mix with the alkaline one that would lower the pH into an acidic form. Then they would have both out of one tube. And that's what this does. When you mix this with a tube of any of our colors, you stir it up in the bowl, you have to wait 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to lower the pH. Once you lower the pH, there's no way it's going to lighten the hair. There's no way it's ever going to go in the cortex. The only thing it's going to do is go one of these two places. Either slightly under the cuticle or on top of it. And how it does that is all your processing time. It's unique. So if you want it to be like a semi-permanent, let it process for 3 to 10 minutes. If it's a toner on bleach, that's your 3 minutes. If you're not toning with it, let it process 10 minutes. And it's going to last about 5 shampoos and be gone. If you want it to last like a regular demi-permanent, like your Colorants or your Viviance or your Color Touch or all of those, let it process 30 minutes. And it's going to last 4 to 6 weeks, and then it'll fade off. And if you want it to be permanent and go inside the cuticle or inside the cortex, use one of these. And now you've got permanent. So the most important thing you have to know about this color line is when you mix this, it has to sit in the bowl for 5 minutes. If you don't let it sit in the bowl, it's going to lift. It's going to have alkalinity still. Does that make sense? Some nightmares when you're doing hair if you don't let it sit the 5 minutes. It's really, really, really important. For example, say I get someone with dark hair like hers, and she says, I want highlights as light as you can get it. If I'm going to do as light as I can get it, what am I going to need? A lightener, right? So I foil her with lightener, and I get her yellow. Now, I need to tone it, because it's yellow. Now remember my natural series I told you had a violet base? If she's at yellow, she's a level 9. So I'm going to use my level 9 natural, because it has violet to tone it. So I mix up my violet level 9 with the 2T, and I forget to wait 5 minutes, and I put it on her hair to tone it. Okay, what's going to happen is that ammonia in that level 9 and the heat from her scalp is going to start to lighten at the roots. It'll tone the rest of it, but her whole roots are going to turn, they're going to lift from her natural about 2 levels, and she's going to have an orange or red-orange halo her whole entire roots. Now, to fix it, you're going to have to dye her back to natural, re-highlight it again, and then retone it, and 8 hours later she'll never come to you again. So it's very, very important you wait the 5 minutes, okay? So it becomes acidic. And then you can do whatever you want it with it. It's not going to lift. It's not going to go into the cortex. It's only going to lay where it belongs. Do you guys understand it a little bit now? 2T is an amazing developer. And it opens many, many new services that you can do in the salon by introducing people to hair color, by letting them try on hair color, and by being able to take every single shade to refresh your ends when they come back for a touch-up. You can do the touch-up with the permanent, and then from the line of demarcation to the ends, glaze it with the same tube, but with the demi-permanent, it's going to make it shinier and silkier and close the cuticle. So it's awesome stuff for that. If I had a client sit in here and watch me do that and came over and said, oh my god, that red was pretty, do you think it'd look good on me, and all of those things, I could have used 2T on her, and then let it process 10 minutes. And 2 weeks later, she's going to call me and say, wow, I hated it. No. Or, good, it's gone. Or, wow, I loved it. Can you make it last longer? You guys understand? So we can make it a demi-permanent. Okay, so that's how all of our developers work. Start to lighten hair. We do a formula. Let's say I get a client come in who's a natural level 5 again, right here. And she wants to be a perfect 8 right there. No orange, no gold, just a soft, natural 8. Okay, so we do it. She's a natural level 5. Her desired level is to be an 8 with no gold. No gray. 5 to an 8, 3 levels lighter. Which developer am I going to use? 30 volume. How long is it going to process? 40 minutes. She doesn't have any gray, so I don't worry about that. But now I am lightening her hair, and I'm lifting her to a level 8. And at level 8, the hair is going to be yellow-orange. So now I know my remaining pigment is yellow-orange. Does she want yellow or orange hair?
No.
She don't want any part of it. Okay. What gets rid of orange?
Blue.
Okay. So half of my formula could be my level 8, because we're level 8, blue, right? Because I have one. And what gets rid of yellow?
Violet.
Violet. And what's the base of my natural series? A soft violet. So the other half will be my 8NN, because we don't make an 8N. We have an 8NN. And for me, actually, I would have used 8BB. And here's how I choose when I'm doing a single blue or a double blue. When I'm lightening hair, if I'm only lifting 1 level or 2 levels from their natural, you're fine with a single dye load. But if you're lifting anybody's hair more than 3 levels or 4 levels from their natural, there's going to be so much warmth in their hair, always use a double dye load. So I use a single dye load when I'm lifting 1 or 2 levels. Once I start lifting more than 2 levels, like 3 or 4, I will always use double dye loads of pigment so I can get rid of that orange. I'm going to walk out with perfect 8N. She's going to love her hair. You're going to get a good tip. And she's going to tell all of her girlfriends all about you. So that's really nice, and that's how you build your clientele as well. The best work you can do. So you guys understand how we lighten hair. Let's do one more. We get a client who's a natural level 4. And they want to be brown. Just 2 levels lighter. 6N. And they tell me they've been to every salon and it always turns out red brown. And I hate red. All I want to do is look natural brown. She wants a 6 natural. She has no gray. 4 to a 6. Now which developer? 2 levels lighter.
20.
How long is it in your process? I don't need to worry about that, but do I need to take that into consideration? And what's the remaining pigment at level 6? Red-orange, like monkey butt at the zoo. The hardest color to get out of the hair. So what gets rid of red and orange?
Green.
Blue and green, right? I didn't want to have to mix 6A and 6 blue together, so I made a 6 blue-green for you. We have it right in here, a 6 blue-green. So you can use that, it's called 6BG, and kiss the red-orange goodbye. And she loves it. And she goes home, she goes, oh my God, it's brown, it's so pretty. And her sister sees it and goes, oh my God, it is brown. I want the same color. She calls me at the salon, she says, oh my God, Max, you did my sister's hair so most people are brown. Can I come in tomorrow? I want brown too. I said, sure, come. And she comes in, she's natural level 2. Can I give her the exact same color? Maybe. Let's see. 2 to a 6.
That's 4. Yeah, you can
40 volume. Okay, how long is it going to process?
50 minutes.
50 minutes. I don't need to worry about this, but I'm still fighting red-orange. I think if I use my 6 blue-green by itself, it's not going to have enough pigment. Because I'm lifting 4 levels on really dark hair. Her hair is going to turn bright red-orange. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, then what gets rid of orange?
Blue.
Half my formula can be 6 double blue. Right? Goodbye, orange. What gets rid of red?
Green.
What's the other half of my formula?
Double green.
6 double green. My ash. Now I made a 6 BBGG. And she's going to have perfectly brown hair. You guys understand the formula?
Yes.
It's easy. Color's easy now. If you take the time and you do it right. It's very predictable and it becomes very easy. But the most important thing is that you're paying attention to this. So many hairdressers don't take the time to write it down and they don't pay attention. They just know it's going to get red or orange or one of them and they grab their ash. But they don't know exactly which one. But can you imagine if you were playing softball and the balls were colored? If someone's going to throw an orange ball at me, if I just think I need to grab the ash and I grab, to be safe, I grab a little blue, green, and violet, I'm going to hit a foul. Hair color blindfolded. The most important thing about hair color every single time is the wheel and that. Once you guys get the wheel and that down, you are a color specialist. Because you understand how color works. That's the most important thing about hair color right here. Do you guys get it? It makes it become really easy when you start formulating. I want to talk about gray coverage really quick and our bleaches, and then we're going to do some hair. Okay, our color line, which is really unique, colors every shade in this whole book, covers gray 100%. And if they're less than 50% gray, like 25% gray or 30% gray or 40% gray, you use this, you use the exact color they want all by itself. You don't even have to put any natural with it. Even I didn't believe that they could do that. And if a client wants red hair and they have gray and I use just red, with any other brand in the world, it's going to look like mauvey pink. It's not going to cover it. Every other brand in the world, I always had to put some natural with it when they had gray. JBeverlyHills, as long as it's 50% or less, do not touch your natural. Just use the color you want and it will cover the gray 100%. It's amazing. If they're above 50% gray, then we need to start putting natural. So I put 3 gray swatches on my swatch here. If they're this much gray or less, you never use in. You just use the color they want. If they're between 50 and 75% gray, now 1/4 of your formula becomes natural, and 3/4 of it is the color they want. And then if they're above 75% gray to 100% gray, then half and half. Okay? And that's it with gray coverage with our color line. Now another unique thing about our color line is, I told you we're translucent, we're very soft, we reflect light, we're natural. So we mix it different. We don't mix equal parts. We mix 1.5 developer to 1 part color. And remember when I was talking about if you have more developer in the bowl, what happens? It's softer, it's lighter, it's more translucent. Ours is calibrated to come out right at these levels, but it'll be soft and translucent. So we mix 1.5. So if I'm doing 20 grams of color, I'll use 30 grams of peroxide. If I'm doing 40 grams of color, I'll use 60 grams of peroxide. Gray though, and they're above 50% gray, I'm going to mix equal parts. Because if you have more color, what's going to happen? It's going to cover the gray better. And gray is already translucent. So when I'm working on gray hair, and it's more than 50% gray, I always mix equal parts. Now if I want to do someone who doesn't have gray, and I want it to look more opaque and not so translucent, I can mix my color equal parts too. It will come out the same level. It won't lose its shine with our color line because of all the botanicals in it. So now I've got translucent, I've got opaque, I've got semi-demi-permanent, I've got whatever I need out of that tube. I can do everything now with this color. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Bleaching systems. We make 2 different bleaches. The first one is a powder bleach. It's called Max Lightener. I didn't name it after me. But it's for maximum lift, and it's a powder bleach. Now, how many of you guys have ever seen bleach that's blue or purple? Okay. Do you still have to tone it?
Yes.
Okay. So that's called marketing. They think if they give you a purple bleach, you think it's going to neutralize the yellow and you're not going to have to tone it. But see, what does bleach do? Bleach eats pigment. That's why if you get color on something, you try to get it out with bleach. Bleach eats the purple and the blue. It doesn't work. That's called marketing. And for me as a hairdresser, it always used to fool me because it would look like it's ready. I would rub it on the bleach and I'd think, okay, good. It's light enough. And then as soon as I hit it with water, the shampoo bowl, I'm like, oh my God, I should have left it on a little bit longer. And it fooled me every time. And it's harder to see through. So I thought about it and I thought, what color could I make my bleach? Because I don't want it to be white, because that reminds me of basic white cheap bleach. I don't want it to be blue and purple like everybody else's. And I was laying in bed one night and I thought about it. I said, oh my God, can you imagine if I made the bleach a really light silver color and I called it titanium lift? I bet you that 80% of hairdressers who don't know what they're doing will think, oh my God, someone made a bleach that lifts platinum. I gotta buy it. So that's what I did. It's bleach, but it's a light silver called titanium lift. And it's easier to see through. It's a little more complimenting when it's on the head than blue or purple roots. And when you mix it, it even gets lighter, so it doesn't look like that silver. It's almost like between a silver and a white. And that's our powder lightener. Bleach, again. We talk about bleach on, I said one of the rules is no 40 volume in bleach. It took me forever to learn about how bleach worked because no one really taught me in beauty school. And I just figured the higher developer, the lighter I'm going to be able to get it. But see, what happens is hydrogen peroxide again is a liquid gas. Okay? So 40 volume is 12% of that liquid gas of the hydrogen peroxide. Bleach is higher in alkalinity than hair color, okay, on your pH. So it's very alkaline. Now, if you mix 40 volume with something really high in alkalinity, again, like I said earlier, you could see hair smoke. And back in the day when I started doing hair, we had 120 or 130 volume. And yeah. So back then when we did highlights, we actually had the plastic thing we pulled over their head, pulled their head through it. We mixed I mixed powder bleach with diluted 60 volume or 70 volume, and poof! It blew the cuticle right open and they were white in no time. They called it frosting. They came to get their hair frosted. Rue fanciful rinse over it really quick and tone it down. Hair color technology really has changed. Okay? You don't have to blow the cuticle open and destroy the integrity of the hair and lift it in 5 minutes. You can do very gentle stuff. But if I went into a salon and I wanted to be a platinum blonde, which wouldn't be a good idea, but if I did, I can guarantee you the average salon, whether they're using a cream bleach or an oil bleach or a powder bleach or whatever bleach it is, I bet you they're going to grab this one for me to go on. Okay. So they mix it up and they put it on my hair. Hopefully they're starting at least an inch from the scalp, first application, but they didn't. And they put it on my whole head, the bleach, right? And whoof, it lifts really fast the first 10 to 15 minutes. Right? And after about 15 minutes, have you ever noticed how bleach starts to slow down? Yeah. And then this is where the fun begins in my salon. I watch the hairdresser start pacing. I got an idea, come with me over here. This'll kick it back in. We're going to just crank up this dryer and we're going to throw you under there with bleach. That's the first mistake. Because see, when you mix the bleach with something high in alkalinity, it causes an explosion, right? Boom! When a bomb goes off and it explodes and it's smoldering, can you make it boom again? It's already done. That's like if you popped a firecracker, you're going to go gather it up and try and pop it again. Bleach is already done when it started to slow down and you went under the dryer. Why are you trying to reignite it? It's done. The only thing you're doing under the dryer there is giving them white spots on their head and their toenails start to curl. And under the dryer for 30 minutes, nothing even happens. Maybe a half a level if you're lucky. Then the second mistake is they take me out front of the dryer and they say, well, Max, you want to be a platinum blonde? We're going to have to do this one more time. I bet you the second time they use 40 again because they're going to kick right through that orange. And whoof, it lifts really fast again. And by then my toenails and fingernails are, and now I'm getting red spots. Okay? If you work with a lower volume, it won't blow it up like a bomb. And it gets stronger. And it'll keep on lifting. When I used to foil dark hair with 40 volume, it would die right here. And I could never get a lighter. And then I went to a program, because I always go to classes at ABCH, the American Board of Certified Hair Colors. It's an awesome program if you ever get a chance to go to any of their stuff. And they're actually based out of Los Angeles. I went to a program, and it was some black girls there that were teaching how bleach works. I learned more from them in one day than I've ever learned in my whole life. And when I went back to my salon and started using only 10 volume, it would go right past it because it got stronger. It may take me longer, but it would actually get out to the yellow before it died. And the hair was hair instead of this stuff. So work with lower volumes. I love 5 volume and 10 volume with bleach. It's amazing. You'll get really light hair and you'll save the integrity of the hair. So that's our powder bleach. I make one other bleach too, and it's a cream bleach and it's called Soft Lightener. And I made it, it's the only thing that I made in white because I want you to know how it's soft because it's different than any other cream lightener out there. When I went to the company to make the bleach for me, who makes our bleaches, they make about every bleach in the world. Every bleach I've ever known of. So if I'm going to have somebody make bleach, maybe they're the ones that should make mine. And the first thing I told them is I want one that's really, really slow. I want one that's going to take at least 50 minutes. And everyone that the prototypes they kept sending me, they worked too strong and it worked too fast. And I'm like, no, 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 you don't get it. They're like, everybody wants bleach that works quick, mister. Why are you wanting a slow bleach? I said, do you do hair? No. I said, okay, then make me the bleach I want. It's none of your business why I want it slow. Slow bleach. Now, I'll tell you why I wanted the slow bleach. Because I do a lot of dimensional color work. Let's say if I'm doing someone like J-Lo's hair, okay? Now, she's a level 3 Puerto Rican. So I want to make her blonde, caramel, and the level 3, 6. No natural color, okay? So if I'm going to put blonde in her hair, right? And I'm going to put a caramel through her hair with highlights. I'm probably going to be lifting the level 3 to like a level 7 for the caramel highlights. And if I'm lifting her to a 7, I'm going to be using 40 volume. And 40 volume's got to be on the hair for 50 minutes. If I alternate her with a bleach foil, so I can get the blonde ones in there too, the bleach will always get done before the color. And then you're chasing it with a water bottle and a towel while you're waiting for the color to catch up. How in the world am I going to go in between the foils and do a base color too? You can't. So then I see people who do hair in salons that don't have new technology. What they do is they do the color first. Then they bleach out. They put the color on and then pull it right back out with bleach. That's real good for the integrity of the hair. And then they tone it. And you can't even use the color to highlight the hair now because color doesn't remove color, does it? So all of these things needed to be changed. We needed a slow bleach that takes at least 50 minutes because now I can alternate it with a bleach and I can go in between and do the base color and I can let all my color do its stuff and I don't even have to worry about the bleach. And by the time the color's done, this is just now getting to pale yellow. Perfect. I can rinse out the color, I can pull the foils, I can shampoo her, then all I have to do is tone it and I'm done. That's what soft lightener is. It's a bleach that allows us time to do our color work. And if I wanted, I can mix it with my booster because it's a boost of ammonia. Remember I said I have one that has ammonia, and if I put ammonia in that, it's going to work quicker. Yeah, so I can make it quicker if I need to. I can make it slower, dilute it down with clear. And it's going to dilute it, so I can make it less aggressive or more aggressive if I need to. And that's our bleaching systems.